an update and I want to talk about humidity, air humidity levels. I'm a bit tired now. So like I said in the previous videos, dryness of the air, it's just I can no longer take it. And by dryness I mean usually air that's below 60% humidity. I give an example of I keep in my room. I try to keep it above 65% humidity. It's just a regular those humidity meters. They displayed as a digital one I have. So above 65, it's okay. I keep the air between 65 and 70 something, 71 too. 70 is the best humidity, and this is in the warm weather. Temperature it's around 25 Celsius, 26, not sure what Fahrenheit. Go ahead and convert it online. And I cannot use inside the room air conditioning unless I don't know those split ones, if they are different. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Because why? Well, air conditioning, it's flowing the air through a cool or cold radiator, and that's removing the humidity constantly. So air conditioner, unfortunately, it does dry the air, so I cannot use that. And I use for this amount of humidity, I do use a ultrasonic humidifier. It's running non-stop. It's a small unit, has a 1 gallon reservoir, but it's a small room too, so it's about 15 square meter or so. So for this room, this kind of humidifiers are enough, as long as you don't ventilate obviously the room. But they do create humidity. Let's say the level of humidity is dry, it's a dry air inside the room. It can make it climb to 65 after a few hours of running, so it doesn't create humidity right away, so it needs to stay running non-stop. And I also need to add a few drops of bleach to the water of the humidifier, so about I'm going to make a video about this 4 or 5 drops, like 1, 2, a tiny amount of bleach when I add the new fresh water in the reservoir, because that keeps any bacteria in check. These humidifiers grow bacteria even in colder weather, but especially in warm temperatures they grow bacteria after a few days, and it cannot be used, and it's impossible to clean them. So I just, when I refill the reservoir, the tank of the humidifier, just put, like I say, 4 drops, 5 drops of bleach, Javex, and that keeps it clean. Too much bleach will smell inside the room, and that's not good. So also when I walk outside, it's summertime, it's warm weather again. I think anything below 25 Celsius, it's okay-ish, as long as there's no strong sunlight, and as long as the air is not too dry. And by too dry, I'm talking about outdoors. I check, especially in the morning time, usually depends on the climate, but here where I am in the morning time, the air is more humid. As the air is warmed up by the sun, it dries up. So in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, it becomes too dry for me to stay outside. So if the humidity outside, outdoors, is below, I would say, again about 60, 55, I would just not spend time outdoors, even not 15 minutes, that much. And if it's warm weather, in winter I did not have issues. Winter time, not sure if the air outside, it's because it's called a relative humidity. I don't know what's the humidity in the winter time, but I didn't have this trouble. But now summertime, if the dryness of the air is below, let's say 55 or so, 60, 55, I just cannot stay outside. If I have something to do, maybe do a grocery or something, I will do it very early morning, because the body will lose blood. I explained this. The lungs did open too much, they are losing the blood that's inside the lungs, and the body cannot recover that blood quickly through the day. So if I lose volume of blood, maybe not a lot, but I already run low in volume of blood. So if I lose too much at night, I just feel this suffocation. It feels like the body stops breathing. The mouth is dry, and this kind of suffocation, I would say it's twofold. It's more like two levels of suffocation. The easier one is when my mouth is dry, and if I sip, I take a bit of water, just humidifying the mouth, inside the mouth, makes that suffocation feeling go away almost right away. So it's really that suffocation feeling, I strongly believe this, it's really the nerves that feel the airflow inside nostrils, mouth, throat. The nerves malfunction and send a suffocation signal to the brain. So it's really a wrong interpretation. I did talk about this in detail in other videos. When everything is dry, your mucosa is dry, those nerves, to send that proper electric signal, they need a humid mucosa. When it's dry, they just malfunction completely. So it's not necessarily because the lungs don't get air, it's just the brain that has a wrong interpretation and makes me feel that suffocation. And then there is a second level of suffocation when just taking some water and humidifying my mouth doesn't stop it. That's a suffocation that takes several minutes to half an hour, 1 hour. What I need to do is just, I drink water, and this is in the middle of the night, right? And I will just go outside. I need to walk. Perhaps the body will start circulating the blood better inside the lungs. And so that feeling goes away after, like I said, sometimes I remember there was a time 1 hour plus. And this suffocation feeling, it's a little bit like you feel it's so hard to describe. It's like the body, it's empty. The life it's moving. The body is losing its life. That's how I feel that suffocation feeling. And like I said in other videos, really worried if I don't control myself, the breathing, it feels like it just stopped breathing, or the airflow through my mouth is just so low, so low for many minutes. Doesn't make sense to me. I didn't lose consciousness or something, but I just don't understand how the body can go on like this at those moments. So also this suffocation always comes with, I don't know how to describe this. It's like demonic anxiety. I hope nobody has the same. It's just an anxiety, feels like you are in hell. I'm not crazy, I'm not hallucinating, I'm not. It's just something strong like this, an anxiety that, and I start thinking about small things from my life that become just like pyramid or something huge. It's just crushing, and that's the anxiety part, right? Something else malfunctioning in the body. Anyway, all this to say that again, I cannot repeat everything I say in other videos, but this is all because the body is losing blood. So the body has a certain amount of blood, it's losing that amount of blood, it's lowering. I don't know how much, cannot measure it, and it's losing through the lungs. So the lungs, you need to understand, the lungs are not filled with air, are not filled with, well, there is air, yes, but the lungs are filled with tiny blood vessels. Imagine a sponge, just like a bathroom sponge or dishwashing sponge, and in those small cells you have tiny vessels filled with blood. So there is about half a quart liter of blood in your lungs, and the lungs, my lungs, they just lose that blood instead of preserving it. It's like, I don't know, it's just you are boiling water. It's not boiling, but you know, when you boil water, water evaporates. It's the same thing. It's just that it's blood that's being lost when the outside or the room temperature it's warm and dry. That balance between, if you want, the blood that's in the lungs, and because the air that gets inside the lungs is too dry, it has to be 100% humidity in healthy person. It's totally no longer 100% because the nostril no longer give that humidity, they are dry. So the lungs now, let's imagine a number sit at 60, 70, 50% humidity. What happens is the blood evaporates, if you want, passes into that dry air, and that dry air, when you exhale your air with breath, that dry air goes out. I'm breathing blood out of my mouth. Basically, you cannot see it, obviously, it's just inside. It's not blood like red, humid air. You don't exhale the blood cells, right? There is a red cells, white cell, but you just exhale the fluid that's in the blood. So the blood has, I don't know, maybe plasma fluid, has a fluid plus cells plus other things. So you lose that fluid, which is blood volume, basically. So yes, if I go right now it's afternoon and it's hot and dry outside, it's 40% humidity. If I go now outside for 15 minutes at this night, I'm going to pay for it. So I stay indoors, I close my windows as well. I need to keep this humidity inside. And also when I go outside in this kind of weather, I really feel like I'm swallowing hot, warm, let's not say hot burns, right? I'm swallowing, when I breathe, warm air inside my lungs. And I ask other persons, do you feel the air is really dry? They say no, but I'm like a thermometer right now. I measure the humidity of the air with my lungs now. So this is one thing. The second thing, like again, this is another topic that you find in my videos. I battle this constipation. Why? Because when, like I said, other times when I just had one bad night last night, so that's why I'm really weak. I'm very just almost dizzy now. It's afternoon. So when the body doesn't have enough blood, the intestines are getting dry and cannot pass the food. So the food gets stuck in the intestine, it doesn't get properly absorbed in the body, the nutrients from food, and this caused me to lose a lot of weight. And also there is another problem with this sort of constipation, which I think whatever nutrients or molecules pass into the blood from the intestine are not the correct shape, length, type of molecules. So the kidneys wants to get rid of these molecules. The kidney filter the blood and they cause a lot of urination, and guess what? Causing a lot of urination causes the body to lose even more fluid. So I notice it seems to me there when because I try to eat, I eat a little bit of bread, but not a little bit, maybe, I don't know, it's half like 2 pounds of bread, pita bread every day, but I eat huge amounts of Napa cabbage, NAPA, which is a big Chinese cabbage, which also has a lot of water in it. That helps my digestion, but I try to eat mostly Napa cabbage because even I fight with this sort of constipation thing, and when I eat less bread, when I eat more Napa cabbage, perhaps that constipation, there is a smaller relief. And also I eat a lot of, I take several spoons of fiber. I don't have it here, that fiber, it says original fiber on the bottle. It seems to me when there is a small relief from constipation, it's now permanent, it cannot disappear, but when it's a small relief, I also urinate less. So perhaps less constipation means the intestine is working, it's extracting properly those nutrient molecules, so the kidneys don't throw them away, don't filter the blood too much, don't produce too much urine, so that helps me having less constipation. And another strange thing is that I say in other videos there are food that make me urinate more, and it's possible, but also again I think the urination part, I think now I'm more inclined to think that it's caused that the more severe is the blockage from constipation, the more severe is going to be urination part. However, there is something I don't understand, maybe a physician could tell why. The slightest amount of acidity, such as a strawberry that it's not properly ripped, that feels acidic, or even I was taking, because I did a blood test and my physician said I'm very low in D vitamin. This was in winter, logically there's not a lot of sunlight, and the blood test came out well. He said there is no diabetes, which I was suspecting because of that urination. So there's no diabetes, there's no other problems with the blood or with the body. It was a quite complete analysis, vitamins and stuff like this. But you say you are low in D vitamin, so I bought D vitamin, the supplements, and those supplements have this kind of, they add citric acid to them just to give some sort of orange flavor. So it's small pills, and when I take a pill like that in the morning, I start to urinate 4, 5, 6 hours later, every hour, and also with a strong urge to urinate. From that pill, how do I know this? The day when I don't take that pill, it doesn't happen, that urination and urge. So perhaps whatever gives some tiny amount of level of acidity to my blood from citric acid, tiny amount, causes urination. I don't know why. But yeah, so yes, that's my update. Just hopefully, I don't know, maybe one of the reasons I'm making this video, if ever someone else has this kind of issues, perhaps it helps how to deal with it. So it's less of a trouble. Thanks for watching.